Now these are the ones who came to David at Ziklag, while he was still restricted because of Saul the son of Kish, and they were among the mighty men who helped him in war. They were equipped with bows, using both the right hand and the left, to sling stones and to shoot arrows from the bow. They were Saul's relatives from Benjamin. The chief was Ahiezer, then Joash, the sons of Shammah the Gibeathite, and Jeziel and Pelet, the sons of Asmaveth, and Barakah and Jehu the Anathothite, and Ishmael the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30, and over the 30. Then Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, Jozabad the Gederathite, Eluzai, Jerimoth, Bealiah, Shemariah, Shephatiah the Heraphite, Elkanah, Ishiah, Azarel, Jozer, Jashabim, the Korahites, and Joelah and Zebadiah, the sons of Jeraham of Gedor. From the Gadites, mighty men of valor separated themselves to David in the stronghold in the wilderness, men of war who had gone out for military duty, who could handle large shield and spear, and whose faces were like the faces of lions, and they were as swift as the gazelles on the mountains. Ezer was the first, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Machbenai the 11th. These of the sons of Gad were chiefs of the army. He who was least was equal to 100 and the greatest to 1,000. These are the ones who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing all its banks, and they made all those in the valleys flee, both to the east and to the west. Then some of the sons of Benjamin and Judah came to the stronghold to David. David went out before them, and he answered and said to them, "If you come peacefully to me to help me, my heart shall be united with you, but if to betray me to my adversaries, since there is no violence in my hands, may the God of our fathers look on it and reprove." And the Spirit clothed Amasai, who was the chief of the 30, and he said, "We are yours, O David, and with you, O son of Jesse. Peace, peace to you, and peace to him who helps you. Indeed, your God helps you." Then David received them and made them chiefs of the band. Now from Manasseh also some defected to David when he was about to go to battle with the Philistines against Saul. But they did not help them, for the lords of the Philistines after counsel sent him away, saying, "At the cost of our heads he may defect to his master Saul." As he went to Ziklag there defected to him from Manasseh, Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu, and Zilithai, chiefs of thousands who belonged to Manasseh. They helped David against the marauding band, for they were all mighty men of valor, and were commanders in the army. For day by day men came to David to help him, until there was a great camp like the camp of God. Now these are the numbers of the companies equipped for military duty, who came to David at Hebron, to turn the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the command of Yahweh. The sons of Judah who bore shield and spear were 6,800, equipped for military duty. Of the sons of Simeon, mighty men of valor for military duty, 7,100. Of the sons of Levi, 4,600. Now Jehoiada was the leader of the house of Aaron, and with him were 3,700, also Zadok, a young man mighty of valor, and of his father's house 22 commanders. Of the sons of Benjamin, Saul's relatives, 3,000, for until now the greatest part of them had kept their allegiance to the house of Saul. Of the sons of Ephraim, 20,800, mighty men of valor, men who had a name in their fathers' households. Of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, who were designated by name to come and make David king. Of the sons of Issachar, men who knew how to discern the times, to know what Israel should do, their chiefs were 200, and all their relatives were at their command. Of Zebulun, there were 50,000 who went out in the army, who could arrange themselves for battle with all kinds of weapons of war and help David with an undivided heart. Of Naphtali there were 1,000 commanders, and with them 37,000 with large shield and spear. Of the Danites who could arrange themselves for battle, there were 28,600. Of Asher there were 40,000 who went out in the army to arrange themselves for battle. From the other side of the Jordan, of the Reubenites and the Gadites and of the half-tribe of Manasseh, there were 120,000 with all kinds of weapons for the army for battle. All these, being men of war who could draw up in battle lines, came to Hebron with their whole heart to make David king over all Israel, and all the rest also of Israel were of one heart to make David king. They were there with David 3 days, eating and drinking, for their relatives had prepared for them. Moreover, those who were near to them, even as far as Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, brought food on donkeys, camels, mules, and on oxen, great provisions of flour, fig cakes and bunches of raisins, wine, oil, oxen, and sheep. There was gladness indeed in Israel.